It's now time to chat to Van Connor. Evening, Van.
Evening to you, Mr. Ball.
How are we?
Do you know what? I'm always the better for speaking to you and talking about good old-fashioned flicks, sir.
Flattery will get you absolutely everywhere, my man. You've had a busy week.
I have, because, you know, the biggest movie of the year after the Avengers Endgame finale has opened. One of the other most anticipated movies of the year, for all the wrong reasons, has also opened, and we get to talk about both of them.
Excellent. Okay, so whereabouts are we starting? Where would you like to start?
Should we start with The Force? That's always a good place to start.
Okay, so the brand new Star Wars movie. I'm absolutely gutted that you gave me an invitation to come to the screening of this with you earlier in the week and I couldn't make it. I was like, oh no, I could have seen it before everyone else.
Not as gutted as I was, Adam, I tell you. I was so looking forward to having you there, seeing that big beaming smile on your face. But do you know what? In hindsight, you did us both a favour not seeing it, because this one did not turn out well. So this is the finale of the Star Wars saga, the Skywalker saga, as it were. This is a year after the events of the last Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, chronologically the last, obviously, because we had Solo in between.
Yeah.
This is the Rebellion has been crippled. The Resistance, sorry, as they're now called. They used to be the Rebellion, they're now the Resistance, because we keep it illiterate. And they're now rebuilding, and apparently there's been a radio transmission echoing through the universe with the voice of none other than the supposedly dead Emperor Palpatine. And so the race is on between the good guys and the bad guys to find Emperor Palpatine for their own means. I've got a clip for you.
My boy. I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
You can tell straight away that that's Star Wars just from that clip. I mean, it still has that slight excitement that it gave me as a child with some of the first sort of 2 or 3 films. But I'm lost with the timeline of Star Wars. So is this a prequel, sequel, something else cool? Whereabouts in the timeline does that film come?
Well, to quote an infinitely better movie from Seth Rogen, this is the end. It's, this is the end of the saga. This is episode 9. We started with episode 4. We got Empire Strikes Back after that, Return of the Jedi. Then we had the prequels. Then we had episode 7. Then we had Rogue One. Then we had The Last Jedi. Then we had Solo, a Star Wars story, which I'm sure we'd all rather we didn't. And then we have this.
Right.
And this is currently the bleeding edge, to use technology terms, and it's not a good one, to be honest. It's very messy. It's driven by fan service. The first half of it would like to pretend that The Last Jedi never happened, because God forbid J.J. Abrams is not involved in making one of these. Yeah. And the second half would like to go out of its way to directly contradict it. What it does to the female lead is borderline offensive in terms of how woke the last film was.
Really?
What it does to the secondary female lead is extreme, to the extent that I think J.J. Abrams owes her a house, or at least a role in his next big tentpole blockbuster. Okay. It is all fan service. There's some great moments. There's moments, I can't deny. It's one thumb up, one thumb down. Don't get me wrong. But the problem is, this is the finale of Star Wars. I want Avengers Endgame level brilliance out of that. I didn't get that. I grew up a Star Wars fan. I'm leaving the franchise decidedly disappointed.
Big sad news there. What would you give it out of 10 then? We always do your van points.
5 at best.
Oh dear. Okay, you're not the first person that said it's not amazing, to be fair. So
well, Twitter does exist, in my defence.
Okay, and final movie tonight is
Cats. I mean, we knew this was coming. It looked bad. It's arrived. And I'm going to cut through the suspense on this one before I even tell you what it's about, and just tell you that this is the film that has usurped Batman vs. Superman for me as the single worst theatrically released tentpole movie of this decade. This is the adaptation of the popular Andrew Lloyd Webber, West End musical. Yeah. It's adapted for the screen. I can tell you that what they have done is literally adapt this for the screen in regards of actually just filming the musical in front of a green screen. It stars, a top tier of talent, including Jennifer Hudson, including Judi Dench, Idris Elba, Ian McKellen, Rebel Wilson, James Corden. The latter two will give you shakes. It is about a cat who wants to get into heaven, essentially, and she teams up with, a group of otherwise homeless cats. They have a sort of Fagin-like figure, McCavity, played by Idris Elba. There's a lot of singing, very little plot. Here's a sample for you.
We actually haven't got time to play the clip. Your sample is going to waste tonight, I'm afraid, just because we chatted so much about that Star Wars. But you're happy that we're not playing the clip because you're giving it how many out of 10?
2.
Really that bad? Oh, ouch.
It's really that bad. It only gets 2 because it has a beginning and it ends.
Okay. Well, thank you, Van, for that, as ever. And I will be speaking to you next week on the show as we get ever closer to Christmas. Have a good one.
You too, sir. Till the next time.
BBC Radio.